Hello and welcome to Lofty Pursuits. We're in Tallahassee, Florida. We're a candy store, and today we're going to do another unboxing video. This time we've got some stuff from the Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park. It's a museum in Skagway, Alaska. And they ended up with an old set of drop rollers, I understand, and we've agreed to restore them for them. And I haven't taken a look at them, so I'm going to make a video today. It's got two purposes. One, I'm supposed to document what I have, because this is actually a museum restoration. In other words, this drop roller is not going to be used to make candy, and we've got to restore it in such a way that it's what they call a, I don't actually know what they call it, it's an undoable restore. We're not doing anything that will permanently modify what we've been given. We're going to be able to clean it, we're going to be able to do reverse electroplating on it, but we're not going to make new parts for it if there are any missing parts that are not obviously replacement parts. So we're going to be restoring this to become a museum display. It's been there in Skagway for hundreds of years. They got a donation of 30,000 objects, I'm told, and this is one of them. And they packed this really well. They followed my instructions. I'm glad about that. So we've got 3 boxes here of equipment, and I'm not totally sure what we're going to get. So let's take a look. Lots of good packing material. Some rollers. Okay, we got 4 rollers here, hopefully 2 pairs. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So let's see what we got. Oh, very nicely wrapped. These things came through just perfectly. Okay, oh! From the best I can tell, there's a number on the back of this. I wonder if this is a acquisition number from the museum so that they could track it. This is, I don't know if you can see it clearly, this is a strawberry roller. I'll show you pictures of that for the catalog later. I don't have one of those. Well, I have a strawberry roller. I don't have that particular design of strawberry roller. I got my strawberry rollers right here. This is half strawberries, half pears. And this strawberries, you see mine have nice cross-hatching little things on the top, and this has dimples. They're very different, and you can also see what condition the ones here are. So we have this appears to be half of a small raspberry roller. Smaller than I tend to make. Or smaller than my rollers are, I guess. Tend has nothing to do with it. Can't make them if I don't have the rollers. You know, I kind of hate getting these things in because I get to get toys to play with and restore that I'm not going to be able to use on a regular basis. But, you know, the museum's going to end up with a beautiful display when we're done. Let's see what else we've got here. It looks like they packed all the short rollers together and all the long rollers together. In other words, the ones with the drive shaft on them are all probably in the other box. I hope they are, otherwise we're in trouble here in getting actual rollers that work. Oh, that was done very, very well. I saw the photo of this one. Can't tell who made it. I'm convinced these little numbers that are showing up under here are the museum's acquisition numbers. They look like they're hand engraved, and they all match from one roller to another. They have a lot of rust on them, but I'm going to be able to fix those up nicely. The bronze parts are fine. The rusty parts are actually not the worst I've ever had to restore. Although I gotta say, the end of this one flaking like this has me concerned. You probably shouldn't have me concerned as much as it does because it's never going to be used to make candy. So if the gears don't mesh perfectly or it can't take the force, well, it never will take the force. Here's another one. Looks like there's not only the numbers written on it in ink, but there's a little bit of something like fingernail polish remover or fingernail polish on top of it. Check it. See if this box has the mates for those 4 rollers. Because these are nice rollers. It's a good raspberry. It's a good strawberry. It's a good drop size. It's a 3/8 inch drop size. And I have the size of 2 sizes below it. 1 size below it and 2 sizes above it. I actually don't have that size drops. Yep, these all have the drive shaft on it so far. Well, that was a logical way to split it up. Let's see. It definitely has the drive shaft on it. These things are going to be a big job to clean up. Another one marked 20. I know these two are Thomas Mills because I've seen that design in the catalog. This one seems to be a Thomas Mills also, but it's a bit smaller than my raspberry roller, and I thought they only made 1 raspberry size. Maybe I'm wrong about it being a raspberry roller. We'll know when we find its mate. Drops. This drive one still has its nut on it, and its nut's pretty loose. Well, that's good. Number 3. Once again, no maker marks. A little confused by the lack of maker marks. Thomas Mills was pretty good about putting their stuff on, and most of the other companies were as well. But this really is built like a Thomas Mills roller. It has a little dimple in there and in there. It doesn't have a little extension over the top. Been unsure about when Thomas Mills started putting their marks on it, but their predecessor, Jay Gardner, whose business they got it from, well, they put the marks on it as well. So one would think that as soon as they took over, they would either leave the Jay Gardner marks for branding purposes, or just, because they had it, or they change it immediately to Thomas Mills marks, which, well, would tell me that it would be on them. These all have numbers on it. I'm going to have to compare these to my catalogs. I don't have all the catalogs from the time, but these are pretty standard shapes, so they're the ones that would stay around for a while. If they match those, I'll be able to ID the maker, but I think these are all Thomas Mills. If you think about this, this got to Skagway, Alaska, middle of nowhere, really limited ground access. You have to get there by boat in the 1800s. Imagine the difficulty to get these things from Philadelphia. Ah, there we go. Definitely is a raspberry. They, just a smaller one. That's really cool. I've never seen this size before. But they would have had to get it across the United States. Oh, that's going to be fun. Look at that nut and how completely rusted it is in with the shaft. I mean, it's completely unlike this one, which unscrews on my fingers. This one is on pretty solid too. Not as bad as that one. That's going to be interesting to restore, but I think you're going to be really impressed when I finally do it and you see what I've done. This was sitting in a barn or something out there, not quite exposed to the elements, but not quite protected. I'm assuming Skagway has lower humidity than Tallahassee, Florida, because I think it's a safe assumption that everybody has lower humidity than Tallahassee, Florida. What do we have here? Ah, we have the drive handle. Packed well in bubble wrap. Quite rusty, but very good shape, especially for the age. Not much of a bend on it. Longer than I'm used to, I think. Let me get one of mine down. This is a standard Thomas Mills crank. Just take a look at the length difference. That's interesting. I wonder what I'm going to find here. I was assuming this was going to be a Thomas Mills drop roller. I'm not willing to make that assumption now that I have a crank handle that's longer than any I've seen before. You know, I really like it when the people follow my packing instructions. Things tend to get here a whole lot nicer. Aha! It's here. We'll come out from through this cardboard wrap. Nice cardboard wrap. You know, you want something packed right, leave it to a museum curator. Okay. These two brass blocks are still in here. They're going to be the challenge. There's a screw and a nut that comes out from the bottom here, and they lower down once you get the screw and the nut out, and they come out from this opening. Why I say it's a challenge is it doesn't look it right now, but these pieces are brass and these pieces are cast iron. And we're going to have to get the brass pieces off before we do the reverse electroplating. Because I got to tell you, reverse electroplating does really nasty things to brass. So those are going to have to come out. And looking from the inside, which you may not be able to see from there, I'll try to get a close-up shot. Over here, those nuts are really in here. Man, I may have underestimated the length of time this project's going to take me. I can do it, but it's going to be a bit. Well, this is in good shape and fairly clean. This is one of the infeed gates. It'll go right there on that side. Let's see, what else do I have here? This little bubble wrapped pack. I've got 2 Ziploc bags here. Oh, good. I've got the spacers here. Got the spacers here. Oops. I've got number 1, and this machine, it's probably going to be really hard for you to see through the rust. There's a number 1 over here and a number 2 over here, so it tells me which size it is. And there's another number here. Okay, I better warn them those numbers are going away. So these things will go here, and these guys will open up, in theory. And on the opening up, when they open up, the top bushings go in. And you've got top bushings. Once again, this one has a number 2 on it. The other one will have a number 1 to match the other side. I'm not kidding around about these things being wrapped well. I'd much rather have them wrapped well than the other way around. Next, top bushing, good. These are the parts that are impossible to replace. And there we go. Our little numbers on them. Okay. We're going to have to, we're missing some parts here. I've got everything which they said they were going to send me. The crank arm, 4 pairs of rollers, 2 top bushings, 2 spacers, 1 gate. We're going to make another gate, I figure. Probably out of acrylic or stainless or something, so it's obviously not there. But there are 2 tensioning screws and tensioning wing nuts, or nuts up here, that they don't have. But interestingly enough, I happen to own this exact same machine. In slightly better shape, but no, in a lot better shape, but not fit restored. Let me go grab that. Okay, I'm back. This one's mine, this one's the one from Skagway. You'll see there's a condition difference, but honestly I was working on mine to restore. But I think I can show you how they go together with mine more easily than theirs right now. This piece goes in. We put in our spacers. We put in the next roller and we line them up. And in this light I can't see the lineup point. There we go. Then we put in the bushing blocks where we match the one with the one, the two with the two, and now we have our candy rollers working well. The plate on the front here, like with this one, has two screws on it. It's really hard to see through the rust over here. And that allows you to loosen this plate and slide it forward and backwards to get closer to your rollers. So you'd slide it down when you change your rollers, and you slide it up and it would pull the candy out smoothly so it won't get stuck underneath. Our old Jay Gardner has that problem a lot. And that's actually one of the reasons I want to restore this one, because this one I have two long fences for, actually. I have three long fences for because I sort of have 2.5 of these machines in stock. And they work a whole lot better. And I don't know what else to say. I'm just kind of sitting here looking at the condition of this machine and realizing I can do it. It's just going to take more time than I figured. And I'm looking at the condition of the machine and thinking, I've got to talk to a museum about removing their code numbers because I got to clean around them. I think I'm going to take lots of photos for this. Well, folks, hopefully you'll see a second video, a part 2 on this, where I've restored this, because part of my agreement with the place is I'm going to make some candy with it, or rather make fake candy with their machine. And what I mean by fake candy is I'm going to make some candy out of one of those polymer clays on this machine, so they'll have something that looks like candy that they can put on display and never have to worry about spoiling. We're also going to not treat it the way we normally do it. We normally do it with, well, we basically season it with canola oil, but on this one, we're putting it in a museum display, and I don't want anything biodegradable, so I'm going to season it with mineral oil, which I understand will work just as well. And if they ever do want to use it for food, they just have to give it a good bath. And then after that, going to seal it with beeswax and give it a nice polish, because it's not going to be meant, like I said, for food use. Well, beeswax is fine for food use, but in this case, it's going to be really good for keeping this thing preserved for a long period of time, especially the brass pieces. The beeswax will keep it from tarnishing. That's about it, folks. Thank you for seeing this at Lofty Pursuits. I appreciate it. This machine's going to go back to Skagway, Alaska, hopefully in a month or two when I'm done. And, man, I'm going to have a little bit of work on my hands to get these nuts out. Wow. You know, a lot can happen in 150 years, and a lot did. Well, thank you very much for watching. We do appreciate it. And if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. We're getting close to 100,000 subscribers, and at that point we get a plaque. Really interested in getting the plaque. At that point I'll probably make some YouTube button candy. And then if you also check in our description of this video, we'll have some links to our other videos, to our store where you can buy candy made on machines like this, but not this machine at this point. And if you're ever in Tallahassee, come and visit. We're in Tallahassee, Florida. We're right off the interstate in Tallahassee, easy to visit, and we'd love to see you. We make candy most weekends, but please get in touch with us to confirm. I'm afraid the candy schedule is a little wonky at any given point, depending on who's available and what we need to make. Thank you so much for watching. Well, we have here the strawberry rollers from the Skagway Museum, and in it, if you'll notice, the heart-shaped strawberries are right here in this catalog from the time period. It's a numbered 94 strawberry drop roller, or fruit drop roller as they refer to them. These are number 1 rollers, which is the size of this. They made bigger ones for electric or somehow powered machines. And this one made 100 pieces to the pound. And if you'll notice, the price line was blank. The salesperson would write in his price for it. And it would vary from salesperson to salesperson. Well, here's a comparison of the drops. I have 3 drop rollers, 2 Thomas Mills and 1 James Gardner. And this is another, I think it's a Thomas Mills drop roller, but it's a size I don't currently have. And it just shows how many varieties of everything that they did back then. And the end of the rollers are inscribed with the number 3, and we have right here the number 3 sour ball. It's 334 pieces to the pound.